is looking for a second date update with a lady named Lila. Hey, Daniel, how are you, man?
Good. It's good to talk to you. I'm actually not really sure if it's good to talk to you or not, because I hear a lot of dumbass men on the show. So hopefully I don't end up as one of them.
You don't want to be one of those.
Okay.
So I met this girl on Tinder, and we were messaging back and forth quite a bit. Seemed like we were really hitting it off, like we really like each other, and just wanted to see if something was there and do like an in-person meet to test that out, And it was good. She was really nice and friendly and had great style and was attractive. And, I could be totally off base, but I thought we had a good conversation. She seemed to, smile a lot and whatever. And I didn't, receive any indication or notice that anything was off. So I thought it went oh, great. At the end, I just walked to her car. We did a little elbow bump. I said I'd call her later. She said, okay. And then she drove off into the sunset, and I never heard from her again. And then that was, last week, maybe on Tuesday or Thursday. So I don't know. I'm just can you guys help figure this out? Because I just am a little lost,
Yeah, so when she said okay, when you said I'll text you later and she said okay, did that sound like an enthusiastic okay? Were you disappointed that it was just an elbow bump? What vibe were you getting from her?
I was getting a totally regular vibe. I think these days, you got to be a little bit more careful. You can't just sort of throw caution to the wind as much, so it was totally normal. And the okay was like a smile, it was it wasn't like an eye roll okay, right. Just get me out of here, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know, I could totally have misread the situation,
And then just on a curious note here, how long does one message back and forth before deciding, I'd like to see this person in person? For Lila, how long did you guys chat before you had your lunch?
Yeah, I guess it sort of depends on what the tenor of the meetup is going to be, you know what I mean? But we were messaging back and forth for a couple of days pretty regularly, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, because I know people who, honest to God, will chat for weeks before they even consider getting together again, which I just think is how well do you have to get to know someone?
Really well.
I guess so. and I can't tell you how many times, and I hear that on Second Date Update, and after all these weeks of thinking, yeah, we are soulmates, we're going to see each other in person, it's going to be wonderful, and then it just falls flat.
Yeah.
I don't have that much to talk about over this for 2 weeks.
It reminds me of that show, though, that Love is Blind show.
Yeah.
They chatted with each other through the wall for, on the show it was
seemingly
4
forever.
weeks.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was probably a few days, but that's what it seems like. They talked and talked and talked and talked, and then finally could go out on a date.
But when you two met in person, it felt very good to you. It felt all right.
Yeah, man, it felt like a good date. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I've been wrong before, so I don't know.
I'm also taking a little mini poll here. I'm going to start asking this question. Have you been blown off before?
Have I been? Well, here's the thing. I've been blown off in a situation where I was like, ugh, that did not go well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're who cares?
Yeah, it's whatever. If it happens again, maybe it's worth giving it another shot.
Yeah.
But I haven't been blown off in a situation where I was like, hey, that went pretty well,
Right. Then I'll tell you what, let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll call Lila and see what she thought of Daniel and her lunch date with him coming up. The Second Date Update continues on Cincinnati's Q102. Daniel met Lila on Tinder, and after chatting back and forth for a couple days, they decided to get together in person for lunch. The lunch was lovely, lots of smiles. They seemed to get along great, as these dates often do. He walks her to her car, elbow bump, and that was more than a week ago. This is not the first time Daniel's been blown off, but it's the first time he's cared enough to do anything about it. So unless there's anything else we need to know before we make the call, Daniel, now's the time.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I don't know. Maybe it was my eating habits. I don't know. Maybe I chew too loud or something like that.
Well, we've had crazier. So let's see.
Hello,
Hi, can we speak to Lila, please?
this is Lila.
Lila, it's Jeff and Jen at Q102.
I'm not kidding. I was just thinking of calling you guys this week.
You were
about
thinking
this-
of calling us?
Yeah, I had this weird lunch date,
Seriously?
but I wanted to talk to see if anyone else had this sort of experience in this COVID madness that's been going on.
Well, that is kind of funny because we're calling about that lunch date.
Is it so, Dan? Okay.
Daniel called us for a second date update on you.
Yeah.
Well, that's not shocking. Daniel and I had been messaging for a couple days, and, everything was going fine. He seemed real nice. And we met up at this restaurant for lunch, and I'm not trying to be rude, but he smelled like he had taken a bath in Lysol.
Oh.
And I used to clean houses on the side, so I know exactly what that smells like. I could recognize it from anywhere. And it wasn't like he just walked through a room that had just been disinfected or whatever. No. It smelled like he filled a bathtub full of Lysol and soaked in it for an hour.
I don't know. Maybe he
It was
did.
nasty.
Daniel is on the line with us. Daniel, did you take a
Okay.
bath in
Yeah.
Lysol before going to your lunch?
Okay, no, I can explain that. So my sense of smell is actually not very good. It's kind of damaged because when I was a kid, I got hit by a post office truck, so it
What?
kind of messed up my sense of smell. So I did use some Lysol, so that would probably explain, why that smell was there and why I didn't realize why it was so strong. And the reason I did that was because I had a coworker that morning leave work because she wasn't feeling good. And so our boss sent her out to get tested for COVID. And I thought maybe some of her germs are on me. I'll just totally spray myself with this Lysol and kill them all. So, I was just trying to be safe,
You were being proactive.
I'm still trying to get past. I got hit by
I know, I'm just picturing, I looked it up because I was like, that's a special specific truck, the Grumman LLV.
Yeah, that's a truck. There was a whole lawsuit, so I know specifically, it was that truck.
Why are you?
This is.
I mean, I've heard a lot of
just-
things happen to kids as they're growing up, and so when I was a kid, I got hit by a post office truck.
This is just a lot.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and that's not funny. I'm really glad you're okay.
It was
But
just
when
left
you-
field. This just came
Yeah,
out of left
it's
field.
just I did not see that comment. And when you said you were having a problem with your sense of smell, immediately I went to COVID.
Right.
I'm like, oh man, does he have the COVID?
I don't think I do. I don't think I do. So I've never really been
think
able
I
to
do?
smell very good after that accident. So I was just spraying myself with a bunch of Lysol just in case,
Well, how does that sit with you as far as explanations go, Lila?
Okay, I'm sorry about your head injury, but if you wanted to be safe, you should have canceled our date. I mean, who goes out to a restaurant and meets with people if you've been in contact with somebody who's sick right now? What is your problem?
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, she didn't. I knew she didn't have it. She wasn't coughing or anything, and she ended up testing negative. She was just feeling bad, so it was fine.
Oh, yeah, well, that's good for her, but you're kind of an idiot, so...
Can I just ask, what kind of settlement does one get after being hit by a post office? I'm just
Get
curious
over that,
what
Jeffrey.
the payout is or
They
something
actually
like
found
that.
me. They actually found me at fault, so I didn't wind up receiving any kind of settlement,
Wow.
which is sort of a bummer. Yeah.
All right. That's disappointing.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm always doing stupid things. I shouldn't have gone out after somebody was sick, but maybe that's just my brains are still kind of scrambled,
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, girl.
Well, if it was your fault, they may have been scrambled prior to the accident.
We are going to leave this man alone. He had a horrible thing happen. Do you want to?
Oh,
Could you
my
imagine
God.
getting hit by a truck?
I'm just listening to this convo as an outsider.
Child, and then your sense of smell is all messed up.
Can you imagine
This-
getting hit by a Toyota Solara as you're passing by a Subway sub shop?
I wasn't driving the Solara.
Oh,
This is
It was the
dating in
Celica.
2020,
Sorry.
though, for sure.
My friend Meg, just a couple weeks ago, got hit by a car. She was cutting her grass.
Oh my God!
how does that even
How
happen?
does that happen?
She felt bad. She ran into the backyard.
Now I have so many more questions.
God.
Daniel, I'm sorry, man. It doesn't sound like Lila's up for a second date. I don't want to speak for you, Lila, but
No, you're right.
yeah. I guess-
Nope.
And I'm not sure dousing yourself with Lysol is a good plan either.
Yeah.
That's not going to cover up all that's happening with that, no.
All right, man.
No.
Now we know.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Well, good luck.
We appreciate you putting yourself out there. And Lila, thank you for coming on Second Date Update.
Oh, thank you.
Great minds.
Exactly.
Take it easy.
Bye.
All right.
Right. If you need our help with a second date update, just send us an email, Jeff and Jenn at WKRQ.com.
Thanks for listening to the Q102 Jeff and Jen Morning Show podcast, brought to you by CVG Airport. Fly healthy through CVG. For more information, go to CVG Airport /fly healthy.